Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the all-new Oppo Find X8 Ultra. This is actually the latest flagship from Oppo, and recently we just checked out the Oppo Find N5 Foldable, which had some incredible technology. This utilizes some of the same technology. So I thought we'd take a look at it. I wanted to unbox it, but it was actually just sent like this in the packaging, and Oppo was nice enough to send it along. So either way, I get to look at it a little bit early and share it with you. Now, typically it would come in a box similar to what we have with OnePlus 13, and the important thing is not what we have in the box with paperwork, maybe a case, but with the charger since it utilizes Super VOOC charging. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but as far as what we have here, we have three different color options. This is matte black, we also have a pure white and a shell pink. We have glass on the back, glass on the front, as well as an aluminum frame or aluminium depending on where you live. As far as water resistance, we have IPX8 and IPX9, and it weighs 226 grams. So it's not super light, it's not super heavy, but it's definitely a flagship-sized phone, and we'll compare it in just a moment. The overall edges curve over to the glass on the back and the front, so it's really nice to hold in your hand. Feels very similar to an iPhone 16 Pro Max. And as far as the look of it, I think it looks great, even with this giant camera ring in the back. We have some very impressive cameras. That's the main reason I wanted to check this out. And so let's take a look around the outside edge. On the right-hand side, we have our volume rocker along with our power sleep wake button and a couple different antenna lines. Then we have a button that they're calling a quick button. It allows you to double tap to launch the camera, swipe to zoom, and long press for burst. We've seen this on iPhone, of course, with camera control. It's not something I use a lot, but if it's a little bit more responsive and doesn't press, it doesn't feel like it physically presses much, but we'll check that out once we boot it up. On the bottom, we have a speaker here, a couple microphones and antenna lines, as well as USB-C. We also have a physical SIM card tray, something I love to see that we're not seeing on all phones in the United States anyway. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what we've got. We've got a little ring here in orange, maybe to reference Hasselblad, and you'll see SIM 1 and SIM 2. So we can utilize dual physical SIM cards. Definitely really nice. On the back, of course, we have that little dot I showed a little bit, or you may have already noticed, from Hasselblad. And then we have 5 different cameras here. Very impressive cameras. We'll talk more about those in just a moment. We have 4 studio mics, and then the display is a 6.82-inch AMOLED display. It's 3168 by 1440, 510 pixels per inch, has an adaptive 120 Hz display, goes up to a peak brightness of 1600 nits, but my favorite thing is it has 2160 Hz PWM dimming. Similar to what we've seen on a couple other phones, such as OnePlus 13, this shouldn't bother your eyes at all. Let's go ahead and boot it up here, and we'll talk about the cameras in just a moment. Now, this was sent to me, like I said, to check out. I probably won't be able to set it up similar to the Find N5, but let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Booted it up. The haptic was quite strong, the haptic feedback. It does look like we've got a screen protector on here as well. So it's pre-installed. Whether or not they do that on purpose when you get it out of the box, I don't know. Now you can see the display here. The bezels are pretty narrow overall, not super wide. It looks pretty great in general. On the left-hand side, we have a new shortcut button that replaces the alert slider, similar to what we have on OnePlus and other Oppo phones. We have a physical alert slider that they've replaced with a shortcut button that's programmable. We'll take a closer look at that a little bit later. Internally, we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite, also 16 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. So pretty impressive specs overall. Now the front camera is a 32 megapixel f2.4. It can record up to 4K 60. But on the back is where we have very impressive cameras. We actually have 5 cameras. We have a 50 megapixel ultra wide f2.0, a 1-inch sensor 50 megapixel f1.8 wide, a 50 megapixel 3x telephoto f2.1 with new telemacro photography that can focus at just 10 centimeters, 50 megapixel 6x telephoto zoom f3.1, and after you zoom past 10x, it uses AI to help make that even clearer. And we also have a 2 megapixel true chroma camera. It's for more accurate white balance and accurate color reproduction. So pretty impressive, 4K 120 even when utilizing steady stabilization. We also have a huge battery here. It's 6100 milliamp hours and uses silicon carbon. This was super impressive in the Find N5 Foldable and also can charge at 100 watts with wired fast charging if you have the correct charger. That's 100% in just 40 minutes. 50-watt wireless charging, as well as 10-watt reverse wired charging. So if you want to charge that way or wireless charging, you have those options. So great options here. It should run Android 15 and have ColorOS 15 on it. Now also, if we swipe up here, you'll see the home screen of ColorOS. And this also has 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and NFC, as well as an IR emitter. So on the top, there's a few things I missed here, but lots of different things here. Before we take a look at the phone inside here, or what we've got with the operating system, let's compare it with a few different phones. So first of all, this is the S25 Ultra side by side. Gives you an idea of the overall size and thickness. Very similar to Hold as far as thickness, but the S25 Ultra is a little bit, maybe ever so slightly wider, but about the same height. About the same thickness. We also have the OnePlus 13 here to give you an idea. The OnePlus 13 is a little bit thinner and about the same width and about the same height. As far as the iPhone, let's compare that as well. As I mentioned, it feels very similar as far as the overall dimensions. Side by side, it feels very, very close. The Oppo Find X8 Ultra is a little bit taller, but that's about it. About the same width and overall thickness, maybe a little bit bigger due to the camera ring here or camera bump, but overall, that's not much of a big deal. Now let's double press the side again, open up the camera, and it goes right in. It's got some great haptic feedback there when we do that. So we snapped a photo quickly. We can zoom, it looks like. So there's zooming. You'll see zooming in and press, double press, and then let's go back home. So you can see the animated wallpaper. I haven't set any of this up. It was already set up for me. And you can see the battery widget here. Let's go into it. You'll see 46% battery mode, balanced, and 2 hours and 39 minutes since last usage. Let's go ahead and plug it in and take a look at what we have while we're charging just to see what we've got here. There we go. You'll see the SuperVOOC charging, and then it starts to ramp up right away. It's something that's super impressive. I love the overall animation. And again, these are just stock animations and everything. I haven't set up the wallpaper, so let's take a look at that. Wallpapers here. We'll agree and continue, and then we have some stock ones here. So these are the stock wallpaper. They all look pretty good, fairly generic, but we have some live ones. So let's pick maybe the bluish one here. We'll apply it to the lock and home screen, tap apply, give it just a moment, and then we can turn on the always on display. So there we go. Now we have the home screen set and we have our brightness slider. Some of this looks very familiar, but it's super fluid, just like ColorOS is. So you'll see how smooth it is, just scrolling up and down. Let's go into the display and brightness. We'll switch to dark mode here. We'll turn off auto brightness since we're under cameras. And you'll see adaptive tone. We also have screen color mode, eye comfort and sleep, bedtime mode. You can see ultra anti-flicker. That's something I utilize. So it reduces screen flicker to relieve eye fatigue. So PWM, that's great to see. Something I really wish other makers would do. So that's something that I've only seen, I think, OnePlus and Oppo do. If we scroll over, look how fast and fluid this is. So if we go in, I don't know what these say, as this is not optimized for the US market. And let's take a look at the language here. So we'll look at language. You'll see system language. It says English. Let's see if we can get rid of simplified Chinese since I can't read that anyway, and go back. Let's see what happens here. So if we go into maybe the camera, let's take a look. So we have our typical camera, and this is very similar to what we have with ColorOS on other devices. So I'll put the other phones here, put them in the background, and then of course we can just snap a photo. It's in HDR, so let's go into our settings here. Let me turn off HDR, go into settings, and you've got everything from watermark, touch and hold shutter button, and your typical settings that you would have on ColorOS. If we go into photo, you can see the different scenes here that we have options for. And then also, let's go back into our settings. You can see 4:3, 16:9, and all the other options. If we go into video, of course, we have 4K 120, as I mentioned before, 4K 60, as well as a master mode. So if you want to adjust things such as exposure, white balance, and everything else, you can do that. Portrait mode. And if we go into more, high res, panoramic, of course, all the things you would expect. So typically everything you would expect, and a night mode as well. Now it does have a macro mode, so we can get nice and close just like that, get a lot of detail, and take a look at the photo itself. You can see the little plastic cut marks here. So look at the detail in this. That's pretty incredible. Just what you can get that close just from a quick photo. And I didn't really struggle to take that photo. Let's do the same here on the Samsung. See what we've got. And I even moved it so it's still focused. It looks good. So this gives you an idea of what it's capable of. Pretty impressive overall. That's what this camera should be. Very impressive. And charge-wise, we're at 54% already. So you'll see I plugged it in a little bit before, and I'm just letting it charge. It is a little bit warm on the back. That's typical though. It's charging at a very fast rate, but not as hot as I've felt other phones. So this is pretty impressive. We also have this shortcut button, and if we press it once, it goes to vibrate. Press it again. I guess it says press and hold to switch modes. So if we hold, it goes to silent. Press and hold again, it goes to ring. So it has the same functions basically as the alert slider we had before, but instead it's a press and hold. So I like the slider, but I guess you could program this if you want to. Again, if we go back into settings, scroll down, let's see what else we have. You'll see in settings, we have shortcut button, and then we can program it. Again, this does look a little familiar, so do not disturb, flashlight, translate, screenshot, and those different options. So you can set it to whatever you want, or memo clip as well. So you can leave it alone or change it to whatever you'd like. Now, as far as anything else, there's not much more other than the camera. I did want to take some photos and video with this. Let's take a quick video with the front-facing camera, see what it's like here. We'll turn it around and see what we've got. This is the front-facing camera on the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, and it gives you an idea of what it's capable of in 4K at 60 frames per second, just like this video is using. And instead of using this microphone, we're using the microphones on the Oppo Find X8 Ultra. So let me know what you think of it as far as the way it looks. I haven't modified it, and the way it sounds as well. So that should give you an idea of what it sounds like with the video, the quality, and what you can do with it. I again think this is very impressive. I love the display that it goes up to such a high rate for PWM. It shouldn't bother my eyes at all. And of course, it's just super fluid all the time. ColorOS is much more fluid than most I've used, and I've been very impressed with it on the folding phone as well. But always smooth, great haptic feedback, and I'm not sure what else more to say about this. It's typical Android at this point, and I really wish some of these would be available more readily in the United States. But at this point, it looks great. I love the matte black finish on the back, and it just is a nice phone to use overall. Again, we're already at 60%. And we do have a fingerprint sensor. I didn't mention that before, but I didn't set that up. But we do have a fingerprint sensor here. It just didn't require me to set it up to begin with. But if we go to password and security, we have fingerprint. We can agree and then use a numeric password. Give it a second here. Tap next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wouldn't recommend this one, but we'll just do this for simplicity's sake. And then it says password set, done. And then we can set up the fingerprint. So again, it's under the screen, has some nice haptic feedback. It's got a nice animation there as we're setting it up. No real issues there. And this gives you an idea of what it looks like. So again, very impressive phone as far as what it's capable of. Camera-wise, I'm going to go take a few photos in a second, but that gives you an idea. So let's see if we just place our finger, super fast unlocking. So that's impressive as well. Let me take a few photos. I'll share them since it's nighttime here. I'll take a few inside as well, and we'll see what it does. I took a few photos inside utilizing the zoom camera across the room that I'm in, zoomed way in, and I'm super impressed with what it looks like. So you can see them. They're different Lego cars that I have, and it just cleans up the photo overall. It doesn't look like it's going to be that clean right when you're zooming in like this, but then it just cleans up the photo in general. It looks really good, and also macro photography, the video, and everything else. Super impressive, and I can't wait to use this photos camera a little bit more, see what it's like, see what the sensors are capable of, and everything else. Now, I will say it is getting pretty hot compared to other phones I've used from them, but it is probably from charging it a little bit, some of the AI capabilities, and more. But let me know if you want to know any more about the Oppo Find X8 Ultra. I'd love to share that maybe in a separate video, a comparison, or something else. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll try and link the stock wallpaper that I have here in the description as long as I can find them as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.